All right, so in this video, I'm going to summarize how you can graph something that's in vertex form or something that's in factored form by hand relatively quickly. All right, it's not going to give you the perfect graph, but it is going to give you a general graph. All right, so when it's in vertex form, the key idea is the vertex. All right, this H and K over here are going to represent your X and Y for your vertex. So if it shows X minus 5 here, that means that the H is just 5. All right, notice it's X minus H in that formula. So the vertex is going to be positive 5 and negative 3 for the K there. So you just plot that point, 5 on the x-axis, negative 3 there. And then the other piece of information is the 1/2. So because this is positive, because your A value is positive, I know that this function is going to be opening upward. All right, something like that. I don't know how steep exactly it's going to open upward, but I know it's opening upward. All right. The only other piece of information that you could kind of glean from this picture is what the range is. All right, I'll go ahead and identify the range on this one. The range is for how low and high it is. So the lowest the function reaches is negative 3. Okay. So I'll say negative 3 is the lowest, and then the highest it gets to is infinity. All right, so the y values that this function takes on are all the values from negative 3 upwards. So you could say negative 3 to infinity, or y is greater than or equal to negative 3. All right, let's go ahead. We'll graph one more. It's in vertex form. I'll do y equals negative x plus 1 squared plus 9. Okay, so my vertex. All right, I'm going to switch my sign here. All right, if it shows x plus 1, it's actually going to be negative 1 because it's the opposite of whatever the sign is there. Negative 1, and then the k is going to be a 9. So my vertex is negative 1, comma 9. So I just plot that point. Negative 1, positive 9. And because this a value here is negative, I know that it's going to be opening downward. All right, it gives me a little bit of information about the graph, but it doesn't tell me the intercepts. Actually, that's the only thing it doesn't tell me, right? It doesn't tell me what the x-intercepts or the y-intercept is, but it gives you a general idea for what the graph's going to look like. The range for this one is going to be negative infinity up to 9. All right, the lowest it goes is negative infinity because it goes down forever, and the highest it reaches is positive 9. You could write that the other form, the algebraic notation would be y is less than or equal to 9. Okay, so either one of those notations. All right, factored form. So the advantage of factored form is that you get what the x-intercepts are. Like you get the x-intercepts immediately from factored form. All right, if x minus 5 is a factor, that means that x equal 5 is an intercept. All right, it's a root or a solution. So I know that this function is going to cross the x-axis here at positive 5. That's one of the places it's going to cross the x-axis. The other one is going to be at negative 3. If x plus 3 is a factor, negative 3 is an intercept. All right, so I know I've got these 2 points, and because my term out front, my a value is negative, I know that this function is going to be opening downward. Okay? So I know that from here, they're going to be pointed downward. All right, let's go ahead and draw something here. I don't know exactly how high it goes because I don't know the vertex, right? So that means I also don't know what the range is, but I do know what the x-intercepts are. And I know that it's opening downward because my a was negative. I will do one more. Y equals, what was my last one? 4x minus 3. and 2x plus 5. Okay, so I've got my factors, and because I have my factors, I can figure out my intercepts. If 4x minus 3 is a factor, that means that 3/4 is the corresponding x-intercept or solution. What you do is you take 4x minus 3 and set that equal to 0, and when you solve this, you're going to get 3/4 as an answer. So that means that on the coordinate grid, right here, we'll call that 1. This right here can be my 3/4. I know it's going to cross there. And if 2x plus 5 is a factor, that means that negative 5 over 2 is an intercept, which is negative 2.5. We'll call that negative 1. We'll call that negative 2. And this can be negative 2.5 right there. All right, so I know it's going to cross at those 2 points. And because this is positive, there's not a negative sign out front here, I know that the function is going to be opening upwards. From there, I can draw my graph something like this. Again, we don't know what the vertex is, we don't know what the range is, but this is going to be it's going to look something like the actual graph for this thing.